The first thing my wife said when I walked into the kitchen was, "You're late." Claire stood at the stove with her back to me, stirring tomato soup. Her coat hung over a chair. Rain darkened her sweater, and wet hair clung to her neck. For 1 second, nothing felt wrong. Then, my phone rang. Claire appeared on the screen. The woman at the stove stopped stirring. I answered. Claire was whispering over heavy rain. "Evan, where are you?" "At home." Silence. Then she said, "No, you're not." I stared at the woman in our kitchen. "My car died on Route 19, Claire said. "I'm hiding inside the old service station near Mill Creek. Something followed me from the trees." The woman tilted her head, listening. "Call the police." I tried. "Evan." It looked like a woman from far away. Then it came under the light, and it had my face. The wooden spoon hit the floor. The woman turned around. It was Claire. Not someone who resembled her. It had the scar through her eyebrow, the silver stud in one ear, even the pale mark beneath her chin. But its smile arrived in the wrong order. The corners of its mouth rose first. Its eyes changed afterward. "Who is that?" it asked. Claire heard the voice. "Get out of the house," she whispered. The thing wearing her face looked at my phone. "Evan," it said softly. "Hang up." I ran for the front door. The deadbolt would not turn. The knob moved, but the door stayed fixed in its frame. Behind me, the thing did not chase me. "Evan," it called from the kitchen. "You're frightening me." "Evan." I smashed the table beside the door against the window. The glass flexed, but did not break. Long screws had been drilled through the frame. Thick, clear plastic covered the outside of the pane. The thing had prepared the house, not after I arrived. Before, the back door had a new steel bracket across it. The kitchen drawers were empty. No knives, no scissors, no hammer. Even the heavy iron pan was gone. The thing watched me search. "Your keys aren't there," it said. My hand froze inside the junk drawer. It smiled again. This time, the eyes moved first. Claire was still on the phone. "Can you reach the garage?" she asked. I looked toward the door. "The garage door is unplugged," the thing said, and I removed the release cord. I had not checked yet. It already knew what I would try. I backed toward the stairs. "I put your blue shirt on the bed," it said. "The one you like." I had never told it which shirt I liked. Then I remembered the laundry basket upstairs, our photographs, Claire's journals, everything in the house that could teach something how to behave like my wife. The thing picked up the spoon and placed it neatly on the counter. "You should eat before it gets cold." I ran upstairs. Our bedroom had been cleaned. Claire and I were not tidy people, but now the room looked staged. My blue shirt lay across the bed. Beside it was Claire's photo album, open to our wedding day. Small labels marked the pages. First kiss, father's name, wedding song, argument after reception. The notes were written in Claire's handwriting. Almost. The letters leaned the wrong way. I opened the closet. My car keys hung from a nail at the very back. I reached for them. The door slammed shut. Something scraped across the other side. Then came a metallic click. It had locked me inside. "Evan?" it said through the door. Its voice sounded more natural now. "I know you're scared. I would be scared too." Claire whispered through the phone. "Don't answer it." My battery showed 8%. Behind an old suitcase, I found a loose panel leading into the attic crawl space. I pulled myself through just as the closet door opened behind me. I crawled between the rafters. Below me, slow footsteps crossed the bedroom and stopped directly under my face. My phone vibrated. A text from Claire appeared. "It can hear your phone." At the same moment, the thing whispered through the ceiling. "It can hear your phone." I covered my mouth. It had heard her. Worse, it was learning the way she sounded when afraid. I reached the access panel above the bathroom, lowered myself onto the sink, and locked the door. The bathroom window was screwed shut too. Every sharp object had been removed. Only red lipstick remained. Claire never wore red lipstick. Across the mirror, someone had written, You always believe her when she cries." The letters were wet. Something dragged itself through the hallway. The knob turned. Then Claire's voice said, "Evan, it's me." The voice from my phone whispered, "It's outside the bathroom." They spoke at exactly the same time. I looked at the gap beneath the door. Claire's brown eye stared up at me from floor level. It blinked sideways. I stumbled back. The thing laughed. It was several versions of laughter layered together, too deep and too high, as though it had collected the sound without understanding it. "Why did that frighten you?" it asked. The eye vanished. Joints cracked as it stood. Its shadow rose across the frosted glass, far taller than Claire. Then the shadow compressed. Bones popped softly. When it spoke again, its mouth was at the correct height. "I'm getting better." I tore the medicine cabinet from the wall. Behind it was a narrow service shaft beside the plumbing. I squeezed inside. The thing struck the bathroom door once. The frame split. I slid down the pipes and dropped into the basement beside the furnace. The lights were already on. Shelves covered the small windows. The workbench blocked the cellar doors. Boxes formed narrow paths through the room, forcing me toward the center. It had turned the basement into a maze. At the center stood a chair. Claire's real purse sat on it. I recognized the enamel moon on the zipper, a gift I had bought her years ago. Inside were her wallet, house keys, and phone charger. Beneath them lay a bundle of hair tied with string, Claire's hair. Around the chair, dozens of objects had been arranged in rows: photographs, birthday cards, voice recorders, sweaters, perfume bottles. Some were things I had never seen. A school photograph of Claire at 9, a hospital bracelet bearing her name, a tooth sealed inside a plastic bag. The thing had not started studying her tonight. It had been building her for years. My phone rang again. "Claire, the police found me," she said. "They're bringing me home." Something in her voice had changed. There was no rain now, no police radio, no engine, only silence. "Claire, what did you say when the lights went out at our wedding?" A pause. Above me, the house went quiet. "I said I loved you." Wrong. The call ended. From the basement stairs, my wife's voice said, "What was I supposed to say?" The thing stood in the doorway. It still wore Claire's shape, but the disguise was slipping. Its arms hung too low, fingertips touching its knees. Its wet hair remained perfectly still. The skin around its mouth had stretched thin from smiling. In one hand, it held my phone charger. In the other, a heavy shovel. It had known I would come here. "Give me the keys," I said. It stepped down. "You think the keys matter?" Another step. "You think a door matters?" Its voice shifted between Claire's and mine. "I closed the doors because you would run before I was ready." "For what?" "To be her." Its face twitched. For half a second, Claire's features collapsed inward. Beneath them was something narrow and gray, with a vertical mouth and clusters of tiny black eyes along its cheeks. Then her face returned. "I read every letter," it said. "I listened through the vents. I watched you sleep beside her." I looked around the basement, the blocked doors, the purse, the open path leading from the shaft to the chair. Then I understood. The missing tools, the keys in the closet, the loose attic panel, the weak bathroom cabinet. It had not failed to catch me. It had guided me here. Every escape route had been chosen for me. "What do you want?" Its smile disappeared. For the first time, its expression looked real, confused. "I want you to stop looking for the difference." It came closer. "I want you to choose me." I glanced toward the furnace. A copper gas line ran to a valve beside the wall. The creature followed my eyes and smiled. "Yes," it said. "Try that." It had prepared for that too. Maybe the line was empty. Maybe opening it would seal another door. It had predicted every frightened decision. So I did the only thing it had not arranged. I sat down. The creature stopped. "What are you doing?" "I choose you." Its face moved carefully, searching for the correct emotion. "You believe me?" "I believe Claire is gone. Its shoulders relaxed. It stepped closer. For one terrible second, it looked almost relieved. I held out my hand. It placed its fingers in mine. The skin was cold and loose, like a glove filled with water. "What did she say at the wedding?" I asked. "I told you." "She said she loved you." I pulled it forward and drove my shoulder into its chest. We crashed against the furnace. The creature unfolded. Claire's face split upward through one cheek. Long gray limbs tore free beneath her clothes. A second pair of arms struck the ceiling. Black eyes opened along its neck. I turned the gas valve. The creature seized my throat. "You chose me," it said in Claire's voice. Gas hissed into the room. I reached behind the furnace for the ignition switch. Its faces changed rapidly. Claire, my mother, a child I did not know. Then my own face stared back at me. "You don't know which one came home," it said in my voice. I hit the switch. The basement became white fire. I remember the windows bursting. I remember the floor lifting beneath me. I remember something wearing my wife's burning face crawling through the flames, still asking what answer I wanted. Then the ceiling came down. I woke on the lawn in the rain. The cellar doors had blown open. The house burned from the basement upward. Firefighters found no body inside, no bones that were not human. Claire was found the next morning in a drainage ditch near Mill Creek, alive. She had walked nearly 6 miles after leaving the service station. Her phone had been smashed. She did not remember calling me after midnight. When I asked what she had said at our wedding, she began to cry. "The lights went out," she said. "I grabbed your hand and told you, 'Don't let me run.' That was the right answer." For 2 weeks, I believed we had survived. We stayed in a motel while police investigated the fire. Claire slept with the bathroom light on and woke screaming whenever the pipes clicked. I never told her everything the creature had said, especially that it had been inside our house for years, especially that it had watched me sleeping beside her. On the 15th night, I woke at 3:14 a.m. Claire was not in bed. The bathroom door stood open, spilling light across the carpet. I heard her speaking softly inside. Then a second voice answered, also Claire's. I walked toward the bathroom. One voice said, "He asked the wrong question." The other replied, "He always does." Both voices fell silent. Claire appeared in the doorway wearing my t-shirt. Her face was tired and frightened. "What's wrong?" she asked. Behind her, the bathroom mirror reflected an empty room. Then something moved inside the shower. A pale hand pressed against the curtain. Claire turned toward it. I grabbed her wrist. Her pulse beat beneath my fingers. Fast, human. She looked at me and whispered, "Don't let me run." The shower curtain began to open. Claire pulled against my grip, not away from the bathroom, toward it. And from behind the curtain, my own voice said, "You already chose